Good morning, it's Brenda. Today I thought we would do the cover for this little journal that's going to go into the bag we made. This was our bag that we did, and I coffee dyed it, so it's not bright white anymore, and I even went in the gussets. I decided to, excuse me, leave the gussets open so that there'd be lots of space. So you can add your journal in there, and you can add some goodies in behind it to add into your journal if you'd like. So I'll show you what I just was doing this morning. I added this little flip thing. I'm gonna put some washi tape down here just to give it some color or whatever on that page. And then I added, with this little piece of paper that I had here, I just made it a belly band, and I added in one of the things we had made. And then I thought today we could work on the cover. I did sew it together with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I glued a doily onto there, and then I just inked it up. So if you want to craft with me, just grab some stuff that you want to make, and if you're working on anything, or if you're making a little journal like this, you know, grab your stuff and we can just craft together and have a chat and enjoy our time. All right, so I just have some little random things. These are just pieces from my kit. And then I have added stuff as well. I've got numbers and butterflies and just little bits that I've had around. So I thought we could just have a play with what we have. All right, so how's everyone doing? I'm doing really good. It's a sunny day here today. It's kind of cool, but you know, that's just the time of year. So I'm just gonna add some glue. There we go. And you don't have to put things on straight. I like to put things a little off. But I have this pearl, it's like this mesh, and it had pearls on both sides. So I really would like to use that. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll attach it to the back of my picture. And these photos come from, I had told you a little while ago, it's from the Victorian Costume for Ladies. Can you see that? It's from Amazon, and I read the book in its entirety, talking about fashion of the ages. And so now I'm using up some of the pretty pictures. Sometimes when I cut them up, it's hard to decide what side to use, but I'm keeping to this side. So I'm just going to, and I would just want to see a little bit of that mesh peek out with the, sorry, gluey fingers. I've already been working on this morning, so it's, I thought I'd better come on and show you what I'm doing. I didn't want to do it all and then say, hey, look at this is what I did. You know, if you're altering a bag along with me, and then, you know, then you size it to the bag, your journal, I mean, sorry, and then just build it up accordingly. I made sure that this would fit into my bag, and it does. I'm just wondering if, sorry if my head's there, I might end up using some hot glue or something to glue these little pearls down. I don't think that glue is going to be, this is just the art glitter glue. I don't think it's going to be strong enough to hold those pearls, and sometimes that's just what happens, right? So I just have this pink butterfly and I'm going to just quickly ink it up. trying to decide what to put on here, you know, and then it's like, well, just something that's going to pop. And I left the papers a little bit grungy because that's the look I was going for grunge. I mean, that's what I was, that's my aim anyway, have things a little grungy. So I'm just going to add a little glue to that. And then I didn't plug in my hot glue gun. I decided not to do that. But a wooden, you can use wood elements. Actually, I kind of like that there. I'm going to use that one. I did ink it up a little bit already. So let me just, I had the lid off for a little bit. And when that happens, you know how that works. It gets a little clogged. So I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of glue there and just pop it right on the corner. Why? I don't know. I think it looks pretty cute there. Can you see that? And then I have some numbers, and I just have these little elements. Like every time you add something, it will add another element of gorgeousness, right? I always say that. You don't have to stop at just a topper. You can just keep going and keep adding until you're happy with what you're seeing. And there's been times where, you know, you don't like something and then you just add a few different things to it until you're happy with it anyway. And there we have our cover. I'm not going to add too much more to it right now. I might do some stamping or something on here just because I want to make sure that it's still going to fit into my bag. And because I have the paper on the front of the bag, I'm going to use the front gussets to put the journal inside. I'm just going to show you that it fits. Just like that. Whoop. Fits right inside there. And then you have a ton of room at the back to add some extra ephemera and embellishments. And it's thin enough that you can send in the mail. Like, it's not this hugely wide bag, which is so much fun. So that's the cover. And then with our stuff that we made yesterday, they're going to go into the other journal. But I just thought I would make some tags, and with this, like, I have these pieces left over and I'm just going to add them onto here, and then I'll cut it up to make tags, sort of a collage masterboard kind of deal. So I'm just gonna cut some not too small of pieces. You know, I'm not a fan of really small pieces, but these are just what I've had left from what I was working with, and I really wanted to use them up. So I'm going to, where's my little thingy here? Just gonna grab this. Oops, I got things sticking. I'm just gonna add glue straight to my board piece, and this is just from a waffle box. We emptied a waffle box and then we keep them, and I've been using them for journaling cards and tags and stuff like that. They're the perfect size to use. They're not too thin, but they're not so thick that they're gonna add, you know, a ton of bulk to your project. Let me just grab my little spreader here, just like that. And this is a great way to use up any and all scraps that you have. Just add up all your pieces. If you have 12 by 12 paper that you're not fond of, grab that, use that. You know, you can cover the colored side of the whatever paper that you don't like, and on the back side you can add book page or music paper, like any kind of paper on the back of it. So there we go. And then I have this one, and it's all the same color tone, which is so fabulous. I have some other little pieces here, and I don't want the straight edge, so I'm just going to tweak it a little bit and take off that straight edge. If you like straight edges, keep it. Like, keep the straight edges. That's okay as well. You don't have to be cutting it all away. There we go. Just like that. And then you can add your toppers to it all. You add your little elements. You can stamp on it, spray inks on it, do all that kind of stuff, and it'll look great. Just like that. And then one more little piece. Oh, sorry, I think I was off camera there, but let me just add a little more glue, because you never know if the glue stick has started to dry. And it's okay if you go over the edge, you can trim all that away. And I didn't ink anything. I prefer to do that when it's all done. And there you go, you have a mini masterboard, and then you can just dress it up. I just love this. This was on one of the papers, and I took my X-Acto knife and I cut out the little white marks there to make it look really old and inked it up. But I want to use this side. I'm just going to pop it right there. Maybe, oops, sorry about that. I'll use my glue stick, and I'm just going to glue it down. And this is just to give you some ideas of what you can do with all your leftover pieces. So I'm just going to add that right there. Let's move that aside for a second, just like that. So I'm just going to cut just like that. And if it's going to be a tag or a journal card, then of course you're going to cover the back of it, right? If it's going to be a pocket or a tuck spot, you don't have to worry about covering the back, because you won't see it once it's attached to your page. Just trimming off the ends here, just like that. Whoop. And so this, I'm going to make it a tag. So I'm going to grab, I have some of that old book page left. So I'm just going to add a piece of that. And then I'm going to attach it to the back. And again, I'll just use the glue stick. Pop it on there. And then once you have it all together, you can ink it. And like I said, you can spatter paint, ink, like whatever you're wanting to do. You just do it. There, I'm just going to cut it just like this. It's easy to come apart because, like I say, this paper is so old, it just cuts like butter. Just like that. Sorry, I got a little quiet there for a second. We've been going for walks every day, trying to take advantage of the beautiful weather before it gets cold. So, and there's the book page on the back. And you can write on this. I mean, it's light enough that you can do writing on there. And I'm just going to snip, and then I'll turn it around and bring it to the other corner and cut again. If you have a punch that does your tag corners, that's perfect. Then you don't have to do stuff like that. I don't have one of those, so I work with what I have and just do that way. So there we go. The glue's still a bit wet, but that's all right. There we go. Just ink it up. Make it as grungy as you want, or don't ink at all. I mean, you know, it's your choice. You do you, whatever you like to do. And I had some little wrinkles in there, so I'm just inking those up too. Just like that. There. And then you can come back and you can add a tab to the top of it. I just have this sitting here, so I'm going to use it. I'm using what's on the desk, all the little elements and pieces. It's a great way to clean off your desk, because I have a lot of stuff on my desk. I don't know about you, but it seems even if I clean it, there's still stuff. It doesn't matter. So I'm on a mission. Use up the paper pads, use up everything on my desk, and then I'm just going to attach it to the top, just like that. Like, how pretty is that? You can add more to it, of course. You can add flowers, butterflies, like, well, I mean, the list is endless. You can just go to town. You can add a little piece of fabric and put a pearl on it. You know, you can do all those things. So let me just put that on there. Bring in our journal. So we did the cover together and we did this tag together, and I showed you what I had been working on. And I thought to make one of these a pocket. Like, that's why I like to do these little half sheets or quarter sheets in here as well, so that you can make yourself some extra pockets. And then you don't have to add in all the pockets per se, because you already have elements that will make your pocket. So I'm just going to add glue to the bottom. And like I say, these are just ideas for you. You know, there's a lot of new people who, you know, need some inspiration. Like, I don't know, like I said before, I'm inspired by quite a few people, and I love watching people and do what they do, and you know, so I'm hoping that I'm able to inspire you as well to come out of your comfort zone and just create. There's no mistakes. There's no right or wrong. You do what you love to do. So there you go. I just glued that down, put that into the pocket, and then I still have this butterfly, and I still want to add it somewhere, so I'm just going to put it on the pocket just to add another little element. Come on. My glue is just about empty again. Should get us through here though, and then I can just fill it up. But I have this little piece of doily, right? Let me pop that on first. It was sitting here. I better use it. There we go. I just try to get all the little ends because they are the ones that always seem to come up. So I'm just gonna pop that there, and then butterfly can go right there, just like that. I just wanted to show you a little something before we go. I have this gold paint. It's from Stampin' Up, I believe. It's called Vegas Gold. I've had it a while, but paint is a great way to jazz up the edges. I just use my finger. I have used a paintbrush before, but it's a pain. And you don't get the same effect. Like with your finger, you can do it as thick as you want or as thin as you want. Paintbrush just it just seems to smear it all around. And I'm not a fan of that. So I'm just gonna bring up the side here. And then I'll come up on here as well. Just for some added goodness. So I'm not sure if you can see that gold on there. Hopefully you can. But yeah, it just adds some pretty to it. And I do have more on my finger. So I'll just put what's left back here. And then dry my fingers later. There we go. Just like that. All right, so that's the start of our little journal. When we come back, we'll dress up a couple of the pages. I'm just going to leave that out to dry. But yeah, we'll do a couple of the pages when we come back next time. And yeah, we'll go from there. And then I'll make some ephemera pieces, extras to put into the bag. And yeah, we'll have all kinds of goodness for it. So there's what we did today. And our tag. And then we put our pocket together and just did this little tiny mini cluster. All right, so I'm going to leave it there for today. And this is a part of my design team project. We're continuing with it. And then we'll get that all finished up, and then we'll carry on to the next thing. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're crafting along with me, and I hope if you're making one that you're inspired to carry on. All right, thank you so much for being here with me, hanging out with me. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have the most wonderful day. Take care. Bye for now.